My name is Leo Maningo, base A3. My topic is Chapter 7 Profit Planning Continuation. First is the direct materials budget. Second is the direct labor budget. Third is the manufacturing overhead budget. And the last is the ending finished goods inventory budget. First is the direct materials budget. The direct material budget calculates the materials that must be purchased by time period in order to fulfill the requirements of production budget. It is typically presented in either a monthly or quarterly format in annual budget. A direct materials budget is prepared after the production requirements have been computed. The direct materials budget details the raw materials that must be purchased to fulfill the production budget and to provide for adequate inventories. The basic calculation used by the direct materials budget is, for example, Hampton Press Inc. direct materials budget for the year ended December 31, 2008. The basic calculation used by the direct materials budget is raw materials required for production plus planned ending inventory balance equals total raw materials required minus beginning raw materials inventory is equal to raw materials to be purchased. The direct labor budget shows the direct labor hours required to satisfy the production budget by knowing in advance how much labor time will be needed throughout the budget year. The company can develop plans to adjust the labor force as the situation requires. Companies that neglect the budget run the risk of facing labor shortage or having to hire layoff workers at awkward times. Erratic labor policies to lead to insecurity, low morale, and efficiency. 5 steps of direct labor budget. First is to calculate labor rate per hour, and second is to determine direct labor hours per unit. Third is to calculate the labor cost per unit. Fourth is to calculate total direct labor cost. And the last is breakdown labor cost. Next, for example, Hampton Press direct labor budget for the year end December 31, 2008. 14,000 cases are to be produced in the first quarter, and each case requires 0.40 direct labor hour. So a total of 5,600 direct labor hours and 14,000 cases. 14,000 cases are to be produced in the first quarter, and each case requires 0.40 direct labor hour, so that the total is 560 direct labor hours. 14,000 is multiplied to 0.40 direct labor hour is equals to 5,600 direct labor hours per case, and the first quarter. In Schedule 4, Hampton Press has assumed that the direct labor force will be adjusted as the cost of company compute by simply multiplying the direct labor hour requirements by the direct labor per hour. For example, the direct labor cost in the first quarter is $84,000 is 5,600 direct labor hour times $15 per direct labor hour is equal to labor cost for first quarter is 84,000. Next is the manufacturing overhead budget. The manufacturing overhead budget lists all costs of production other than direct materials and the direct labor. Manufacturing overhead cost refers to anything that helps the production process run as smoothly as possible. This cost can include wages for machine handlers, quality control inspectors, and other workers that work directly to ensure proper production. It can also refer to the cost of equipment repairs and maintenance. Manufacturing overhead costs can also be facility fees such insurance, utilities, and property tax. Calculate overhead percentage. Once all monthly manufacturing overhead costs have been calculated, you need to determine the overhead percentage. This indicates that percentage that you will need to pay for manufacturing overhead every month. To do this, take your monthly overhead cost and divide it by your company's monthly sales, then multiply it by 100. For example, if your company has 100,000 pesos in monthly manufacturing overhead is 600,000 pesos in monthly sales, the overhead percentage would be about 17%. This means 17% of your monthly revenue will go toward your company's overhead costs. The ending finished goods inventory budget. The ending finished goods inventory budget calculates the cost of finished goods inventory at the end of each budget period. It also includes the unit quantity of finished goods at the end of each budget period. But the real source of that information is the production budget. The primary purpose of this budget is to provide the amount of the inventory asset that appears in the budget balance sheet, which is then used to determine the amount of cash needed to invest in assets. If you do not intend to create budget balance sheet, there is no need to create ending finished goods inventory. When a company needs to closely monitor its cash balance on an ongoing basis, the ending finished goods inventory budget should not only be created but also updated on a regular basis. Thank you for watching.